Welcome back. Now we have on Skype right now Sharrif Gbadamosi, a learning and development professional with over 20 years experience in senior management and executive roles in the manufacturing and service industry in Nigeria and the United Kingdom. Now today he's going to be sharing with us how to maintain financial frugality in times of uncertainty, whether it's personal or a small business. Thank you so much, Sharrif, for joining us this morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Thank you very much for having me. Good morning.
Excellent, excellent. Well, it's been almost a month now that we've been at home. How's it been for you?
It's been quite a tough one, especially in terms of finding alternative ways of executing your business.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it's fun. It's actually fun trying to find alternatives.
Yeah. So this is the time when a lot of companies, especially those who maybe function on getting profits on a daily basis, if it's a small business, even on a personal level, if you own a business, if you are the business, for instance, if you're a speaker or anything like that, it can be pretty tough. So how do you begin to plan financially, especially if this is, I mean, nobody knew that it would be up to a month, this lockdown, and it looks like it's going to be extended beyond that. So planning for a week is fine. Planning for maybe 10 days, not too bad. But if you have to plan for, say, a month, 2 months where you're not making money as a business, what are the things that you should begin to look at?
Okay. That's why I'm talking about frugality today, because frugality, as I understand it, is being economical with the money that you have in your hand, whatever little is coming in, whatever you already have. Now, we have to face facts. At the moment, the economy it's not grinded to a halt, but it's actually gone down. There's a serious slowdown in the economy at the moment, which also means that for income, a lot of people are experiencing a huge downturn in how the money they're receiving every month, their salaries or their business incomes, because a lot of people are also not spending as well. So there's a general slowdown in the economy. But on the plus side, not everybody's experiencing this, but your business expenses as well might have slowed down as well. Because what you find is, for those people that are heavy in terms of using office space, transporting things, goods, whatever it is, you find that a lot of those costs have actually gone down as well. Not only because people are not buying, but also because we're not running an office space. You're not running generator. You're not running all those usual expenses, because people are looking for alternative ways, mostly online, to conduct their businesses. So you find that that is a little bit of a plus, but still, there's still financial strain, because there's still different things that one has to do. Again, I said, depending on which business that you're running. So you have to maintain some form of financial frugality, because as you rightly said, we don't know if this is going to be another 1 month lockdown. It could be 6 months. This pandemic is just creating so much uncertainty around the whole place. So having that financial frugality is very key. Now, how do we do this?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, let's say, for instance, every company has its own cash flow. We have our own understanding of how we spend money, how money goes out of our businesses, and how money comes in. So I say this is a good time. If you have a slowdown, one of the best things you can do is have a reflection on your last 12 months. I think this is very, very key. You find that you have a lot of time on your hand as a business owner or as an individual. Look at the last, hopefully, if you have kept good records, especially in terms of businesses, I expect you would have kept good records. Look at your last 12 months. What have you done in terms of income and expenditure? Match those things. Maybe you can do a little income and expenditure table, right? Very simple. Have your debits and your credits on one side. What have I spent and how have I made money? Making money, we already know we're looking for alternatives. But in terms of your expenditure, it's very, very important to be able to see what you've done in the last 12 months and what you can do in the next 12 months, because you will look at the wastages that have come out. You will look at the things that you've spent on that you didn't necessarily need to spend on as a business. You will look at probably as a result of, you look at the savings that you're currently making because you're not spending on certain capital expenditures and things like that. Then you can project for the next 12 months. Okay, this is how much I have in my kitty. This is likely what my business is going to make in the next, assume, because you're looking at prudence. Prudence pretty much says in accounting, if your initial budget or expectation for the year is, let's say, for simple reasons, 1 million naira. I'm going to make between January and December. Now this slowdown has come. You'll be lucky to make 250K. I'm looking at a small business here.
Yeah, right.
So if I'm going to make that, it means that my projections are changing completely for 2020. So how do I readjust my expenditure to meet for that? So looking at your expenditure, what have I done in the past? What wastages have I incurred? How do I probably re-strategize my business so that my expenditures are not as much?
Okay,
Then you now make some
can I come in
strategic
here?
decisions.
Can I come in here?
Sorry?
Can I come in here? I know that you're talking about rearranging your finances and also, trying to get some planning in there. But there are some people who perhaps maybe a lot of their overheads has not changed. So, for instance, I had in the month of February or in the month of March, I had a staff strength of say 5 or 7 people. And now we've been at home throughout the month of April. And, it's almost the end of the month and I have to pay salaries even though I haven't made any money. So when it comes to frugality, is this the same thing as austerity? Do I begin to cut back? How do I plan in those kinds of instances?
Well, I believe in being fair, especially when it comes to dealing with your staff and dealing with your team. You have to have a word with them. You have to have a team meeting. I expect most people should have had those meetings a month ago if they were really serious on making sure that their business continues being a going concern. Now, there's a likelihood, depending on what your cash reserves are, because most businesses should have cash reserves, should have negotiated pay cuts, not only for your staff, but also yourself as the entrepreneur, as the business owner. You have to negotiate a form of pay cut. Maybe it could be half. I know someone at the moment that said after about full pay in the first month of this lockdown, they're going to 50%, and the month after they're going to another 50%. And if it continues beyond that, they might have to close down. I mean, these are the difficult decisions that some people are making. Again, depending on what your cash reserves are, then you'll be able to project till December, hopefully, if you can keep this up. So that your business doesn't need to close. Then you might also have to downsize on your staff. I know it's not a good thing, but we have to understand that we're in business to make money and to continue growing. So some businesses might be, it's very unfortunate, but some business might have to downsize. Maybe, as you say, you have 7, you might have to go down to 3 or 4. So those are the kind of tough measures that you have to take as a business to be able to adjust in this difficult moment. But you have to make those adjustments quicker because most important is to have that business open. You can rehire later on. You can tell these people that for now, this is what the situation is, but you have first right of refusal if I'm rehiring after the pandemic is over. So these are the kind of tough choices you've got to make. Yeah.
I wanted to ask also, is frugality the same as austerity, or is austerity a more aggressive way of cutting back?
Well, I would say austerity is a more aggressive way. Frugality is more of a planned form of downsizing or a plan. You're more in control when you're dealing with frugality because you have your eye on the ball. You're making analysis, you're checking books, you're projecting. That's more of a control. Austerity tends to kind of like hit you in. I would say some people are going through austerity. Let's not beat around the bush. But it's better for you to deal with frugality than deal with austerity, really, which means that it's a good time for you to be able to reflect and plan ahead. So frugality, I would prefer for any business to go down that road.
All right. So on a personal level, on a personal level for people who are planning their own personal finances, there are certain people who maybe they've received a pay cut, maybe 50% or 70% or whatever it is. And so I'm an individual. I've had this certain kind of lifestyle over the years, and I'm used to being comfortable on this level. And then suddenly I'm getting a 50% pay cut. So as an individual, I know that you're also a personal finance expert. How do I plan with my family? I've still got bills to pay. I've still got the kids. The kids are still the same. The wife, everyone is in the house. So if I received a pay cut, how do I plan? How am I frugal in my dealings financially?
what we've done, I'll use myself as an example. What we've done, you have to prioritize your expenditure as every month, especially if you're a parent, you have to think of your children's school fees. You're locked inside the house, so your transport costs are actually at the bare minimum. I would hope for those people that are still locked into the house, there's some people that are still going to work every month. I would assume that their work and the salaries will remain the same for those people that are still active in the front. So this is for people that are under the lockdown or they lost their job or they've pretty much had a half pay because they're at home and they're not really working or being productive. So for those people, again, this analysis is very important. Looking back at the last 12 months, what's the lifestyle that I've currently had? I know I have to cut back, but the question now is, what do I cut back? And again, having a reflection of the last 12 months of how your family has spent money is very, very important. Now, I know on a personal level, not a lot of people do personal finance at home because from a lot of counseling that I've done, most people don't even know where their money goes. They just know that they go out, they have fun, they buy so and so amount of groceries. This is the time to tell yourself, okay, if for instance, I'm not going to spend more than 10,000 a week, where I normally used to just go to the shop and swipe my card. I really don't know how much groceries I'm buying. This is the time to actually focus. What foods have I normally enjoyed? What do I need to cut back on? What are the necessities? This is a time for necessities more than anything else. What are the necessities that I need in my home? Right down to the type of toothpaste you use. Do I use an expensive brand? Do I need to now cut back? Just for now, it's not the end of the world. You're going to bounce back. Everybody's going to bounce back. But for now, you need to take those measures to say, where I normally used to buy groceries worth 40,000, now I'm buying 10,000 a week. And everybody's actually cutting back. I'm not asking you to starve in your house. I'm asking you to cut down first on all the luxuries. You got to get rid of all the luxuries. And having a close reflection of everything you've done in the last 12 months helps you identify what are the luxuries and what are the necessities. Because whether we like it or not, during times of plenty, we have a lot of luxuries, but we don't realize they're luxuries. We take them for granted. So that's a big thing that we need to do. Cut down on all the luxuries.
All the luxuries.
Only the necessities.
Cutting back on all the luxuries. So on a personal level and also for small businesses, you heard it all this morning from Sharrif Gbadamosi, who is a finance expert. So frugality is what is required this time of the COVID lockdown. Thank you so much, Sharrif Gbadamosi, for teaching us all these things that we've always known, but bears a reminder. And, check out what your groceries cost and, make those changes. All right. We're going to be having you over next week as well, hopefully on the show. Quick break now, and we'll be right back with more on the show.